Hey guys, how's it going? Fluffy Man here with the Pizza Department. Today I'm going to talk to you about 5 quick tips to help you in your infection-free zone campaign. So my first tip for today is to utilize your tower guards during days and night. So during the day, the infected will not roam around the city unless it's cloudy, in which they can start to roam. So I would probably keep your guards during those days. However, for the most part, it's relatively safe during the day, and your squads can pick off any kind of enemy humans that come at you. So you don't have to worry too much about that. So all I would recommend doing is just taking all of your guards off guard duty, assigning them jobs for the day, and then when the nighttime hits, just go ahead and take them off those jobs and send them back to the towers to guard. If you're like me and you use a lot of towers in your builds, you'll get a lot more efficiency doing it this way. So my second tip is going to be around swarms. So here you can see in the bottom right, got the swarm incoming button. This is important to pay attention to. Usually you'll hear a giant yell and that notification will come up. I always make sure to check on the map where it's going to come from because you're going to want to set your defenses up for that. So my base has towers all around it. However, they're coming in from the north. So we got lucky. My base is generally set up for north. So like my HQ and most of my buildings face north. So this one will be easy to set up. So moving units around to the front. Move some into my kitchen area. That way I can easily move them to the west a little bit if I need to, or to the right if I need to. I'm not sure exactly where they're going to come from, but I know they're going to be hitting my north or west wall. So here you can see that they hit the north wall, and that blue wall you see there, it's glitched. Unfortunately, I can't get anybody to tear it down, so I just gotta wait for them to knock it over. Luckily, my towers and my defenses are pretty good. They're gonna get through, and we're gonna be able to take them out. Since I've got several squads able to fight them, along with deterrence, we're gonna be able to do enough damage to get them before they do any significant damage. If they had attacked my south, it would have been very similar. Just my unit placement would have been a little bit different. I would have had to move them all south. You always want to make sure, though, you have your squads ready to take on these hordes. They add a lot of extra firepower alongside your turrets. So that will be my second tip for this. So my third tip is utilizing your squads for building clearing. So early on when I started, I always clear with maybe one or two squads, and somebody would get injured. I might lose a person. However, when clearing buildings, you can use as many squads as you want, and generally, I try and use 3 if I know there's gonna be zombies inside, so I can avoid injuries. I kind of go a little overkill on 5 here since there's 40 zombies in there. I want to make sure we get it cleared up quick. So making sure to use more squads to clear buildings will save you in the long run. It's also good to do, especially when you're fighting human targets. Humans do a lot of damage to your people, so if you're going to be fighting them, I would recommend a 3-to-1 advantage just to avoid any kind of injuries or death. So tip number 4 is going to be revolved around looting. It's going to be kind of a two-parter. So the first part to this tip is watching the moon cycle. If it's a full moon, you do not have to worry about zombies attacking you, so you can keep you guys out looting. And then for the second part of this tip, whenever I'm setting up loot paths for my people, I utilize shift right click in 2 ways. The first one, I select a certain amount of buildings in an area that I want them to loot. And then here's the key part to this tip is whenever I'm done with that, I shift right click to the home area. So what that'll do is once they have looted their buildings, they will return home when they're done. And something also neat about doing this, even if they get a full inventory halfway through looting, they will go back, drop that off, come back to your loot route, and finish that up, and then return home. So you're gathering all the loot, and you're making sure your squad's returning without having to check on them every 5 minutes to see if they've completed it. Now, make sure to keep an eye out. Make sure they don't get in combat with something they can't handle. So if you see we're under attack, make sure to check on them. So my last tip for you is increasing your squad limits. It is very important to do so, but how do you do it? Well, all you got to do is build additional headquarters. From what I've seen, you can build as many as you want. Depending on the size, it'll give you different amounts of extra squads. So this one here gave me 2 extra squads, which will be super helpful. That's 8 additional guns that can move around my base to help defend it, or 2 to loot. So Keep in mind to build these often and around the map as you expand. That way you can get more units, and it also can work as a quick way to get more resource capacity. Thank you guys for watching. It's been Fluffy with the Pizza Department.